You're made up of love. Love is a choice. You can choose to love or you can choose not to love. When it comes to romantic relationships, we've fallen into the trap of programming from society, and the programming is called Romanticism. Romanticism doesn't allow for a long-term sustainable relationship. Men and women have the illusion that relationships are supposed to be a fairy tale and all of these concoctions of emotions and feelings and ecstasy and desire and passion and all these things. Whilst that exists within a relationship, this is the first thing that people look for when finding a mate. But in actuality, this is not the process of finding a relationship or the reason for getting into a relationship. You see, people get into a relationship for love, but in actuality, people used to get in relationship to survive. People used to get into relationship to have two families come together and create wealth. People used to get into relationship because this was about building something together. You know, building and creating something together. It's like starting a business in a way. And I know that sounds far off what society has told us relationships are. But basically, we have been trained to follow our emotion. If we look at social media, they're training us for dopamine addiction. So aren't they doing that with relationships too? Of course they are. We have to understand that everything in our reality is pretty much a lie. Everything that's away from nature is pretty much a lie. You know, how often we have sex, for example, I don't think it's natural. If you look at every animal in nature, they're not having sex as frequently as human beings. And so we have things like protection now, right? Where we're able to and capable to have intercourse as much as we like. But back in the day, this couldn't happen because then the woman would get pregnant or disease would be spread. This is nature. So we're far away from what a relationship actually is. And we don't even realize that we've created these illusions around what love actually is and what a relationship is for. So a part of a relationship is duty, you know, but we have to understand that there's a yin and a yang to relationships. I'm not saying not to have any desire or any passion or any great feelings of love and, you know, all of these like concoctions of emotions and like these hormones that are going on. I'm not saying not to have that. I'm just saying that's the feminine side, right? The masculine side is the structure, right? Which romanticism is missing, which the movies are missing, right? Which the fairy tales and the you know, Disney and romantic movies and the novels and the book I was looking for was 50 Shades of Grey, right? It creates these pictures and these images and these desires in our minds, and then we have human beings, right? We have these expectations and then we have human beings, right? And oftentimes human beings are capable to meet all of your expectations. So you'll find men and women, I think a majority is the time is women, will have a long list of the type of man that they want in their lives. And men will have it too sometimes, but more often is women. And sometimes this list is a very small, minute part of the population, you know? And we have to understand that these things are things that we've been told by society. So how can we reverse that? How can we realize that we need to approach love in a different way? And do we actually want love now that I express it in this way? You know, it's weird, but there's a slight maturity that comes from understanding that this is how relationships actually work long term. You know, when you have the masculine structure side, and when I say structure, what I'm talking about is duty. That you choose to love this person, that you choose to be loving no matter what. Like when there's a problem with your partner or whatever it is, it's your duty to keep a state and not blame the other person or argue or fight or whatever it is, because you're just going to create more scars, right? It's a duty to maybe once a week or every 2 weeks you sit down and you talk about your relationship and the progress that you're making in your relationship and what your needs are and things like this. It's your duty to make sure, you know, your partner's maybe well fed, you know, and that they're not hangry. There's a sense of duty, and maybe you're feeling tired and they're feeling tired and stress and all this stuff. but there's a duty underlying, and we're not blaming and arguing and causing more scars and activating trauma within each other when it comes to romantic relationship. A lot of people are missing the masculine side, the structure side. Maybe we need to go to therapy. Maybe we need to go counseling. Maybe we need to get coaching. Maybe we need to study more about relationships. You know, this is what's going to help sustain a long-term relationship and building an empire together, building something together. And so now we have to find someone that thinks this way too, you know, and understands these concepts too. And so when you step into this vibrational frequency and this understanding of, obviously you'll attract men or women that have this way of thinking. It's not just about the romanticism. It's a part of it, but it's not the complete picture. You know, if you go to any successful relationship and you ask them, okay, like, you know, how have you been together for so many years? You'll see that they have certain rituals or they have certain things that they do to make sure that they're happy. And usually it comes back to communication, right? And really expressing the needs and then not taking what they're expressing personally and really adapting or compromising or finding the middle ground or learning about each other on a deeper level. Just imagine someone love you so deep that you feel no fear, you feel no anxiety, you know this person is going to be by your side no matter what you do or how you behave. When I say that, you know, obviously we have red flags and deal breakers and things like this. And when I say behave, I'm talking about maybe there's a day where, you know, you had a hard time at work and the person's stressed, they're tired, they're hungry, they come home and then they bark at you. You know, it's like, why did you leave the dishes? Whatever, right? We got to understand that us as human beings, we're very different. We're very complex. And do you have the duty to understand the complexity of your partner? Do you have the duty to understand the complexity of the way that they think, the way that they feel, the way that they express? Are you willing to understand that maybe their tone doesn't mean they're speaking in a negative way? You know, that's the way they was brought up, and so that's the reason they have that tone. And actually, it's not anything malicious or anything like this. Are you willing to understand them on that much of a deep level and still love them? And maybe communicate what your needs are. Can you understand that this actually affects me or triggers certain things from my past when my mom used to shout at me and stuff like this? These are things that we need to have in our relationships more, okay? And so when it comes to manifesting love, we need to actually realize that we are manifesting not only the romanticism side, but something that's going to sustain long term. Otherwise, you'll keep manifesting people that end up cheating or not staying long term or doesn't have the mindset or doesn't have this and doesn't have that to make the relationship actually work. Does that make sense? So I guess this video, the intention is to save you from pain. I know it sounds a little bit boring and like, I don't know, maybe it's a bit exciting for some of you, you know, and so I just wanted to express that, okay? If you would like love, relationship coaching and healing from your past relationships, overcoming an ex, you know, letting go and moving on with your life and feeling strong and confident in yourself, then check out my coaching program here. And remember to keep learning, keep growing, keep expanding, and I'll speak to you soon. Peace.